back to Cooking with Papa J. Today we're making a low-calorie oven-baked chicken recipe. Very simple, very easy to make, quick. Basically, I've got 5 pounds of chicken here. What I'm going to do is season it with some Italian seasoning, Lowry seasoned salt, garlic powder. I'm going to toss the chicken in just a little bit of vegetable oil, not a whole lot, 1, maybe 2 tablespoons. And then I'm going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 375 degrees. Alright, so now while that's preheating, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get our chicken cleaned up, and then I'll be back, and I'll show you how to toss it in the vegetable oil. We'll be back. Alright guys, I've got my chicken cleaned up. I just went ahead and put it in my glass dish, just to keep it out of another bowl type thing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut this. I've got 4 big chicken breasts. That's how they came at the store. Like I said, it is about 5 pounds. I lost maybe about 1/4 pound to trimming. But what I want to do is I want to make these just a little bit smaller so they do cook faster, and then also they are, you know, one person eating almost over 1 pound of chicken. So what I do is I usually just lay it flat, and I'll just turn my blade sideways, and I'll just try and cut best I can, not through myself, but through the chicken, so that way I end up with something like, you know, 2 halves of the chicken as far as that goes. So I got 1/2 here, 1/2 still down there. This one here is of course a lot thinner than that one, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can do them all whole if you want to. It's entirely up to you. So what I do then is I throw them back in the dish, and I'll go ahead and slice up the rest here just real fast. Like I said, the prep time on this is not very much. The reason why I'm doing this is just to create more space and to actually help the chicken cook through a little faster. Alright, the 45 minutes should take care of most anything, but once again, as I said in some of my other videos, your final cook time is all dependent upon what the internal temperature of the meat is. With the chicken, we want to be at least above 165 degrees. Now, I prefer somewhere around 170, somewhere in there, 180, somewhere in that ballpark. So what I've got now is I've got thin layers of chicken. Now, I'm just going to cut these up just a little bit smaller, just for me. So I usually just run it right down the middle of the breast. So I got 2 there. So I guess you could call it I'm quartering the breasts. Okay. So we'll just do that real quick. Just running them down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat these in vegetable oil. Not a whole lot. This is where it keeps the lower calorie, because the vegetable oils, of course, can give it a little bit of flavor. But what's going to happen is the juice from the chicken is going to fill up the bottom of the pan, and it's going to retain that juice because we're going to go ahead and throw a layer of aluminum foil in the oven while we're baking. So that way, I guess I recorded that. Oh, yeah, I did already record all those. So that way it helps cook the chicken all the way through by trapping the heat in there, but it also traps in the moisture. So the chicken comes out very juicy. There will be probably a good 1/2 inch to 1 inch of fluid in the bottom, but that's okay, that's good, we want that. This chicken here also goes really well in salads. Okay, if you like a chicken on your salad, this chicken here also goes really well. If you do some sort of like a cooked chicken salad, something along those lines, you just add the salad ingredients to your already cooked chicken and you're ready to go. That's the reason why I make about 5 pounds at a time. My family will eat somewhere in the ballpark of around 3 pounds or so, but the extra couple pounds are for my wife's salads and just different snacks in the fridge. Bigger guy, I like chicken snacks. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and grab a bowl, and we will go ahead and toss to coat our oil, or our chicken in our oil. So let me get my hands washed up real fast like. And I usually make this, guys, with another dish that I'm going to be posting the video of just after this one. What it is a very similar recipe, but it's using potatoes. So I usually do almost the exact same thing, but I toss the oil on the potatoes and then I put them in the pan, layer them with salt. This is the lower calorie version. I usually make it with a stick of butter. A stick of butter will go, actually, 1/2 stick of butter goes in with the chicken, but a full stick of butter will go in with the 4 pounds of potatoes. So what I'll do is we're going to take 2 tablespoons, okay, Vegetable oil is around 100 calories per tablespoon. So we're going to try and keep it a little lower in the recipe. And I think chicken is somewhere around $5.60 a pound for as far as calories goes. So once again, this isn't zero carbs, zero protein diets or anything like that. This is what I call the zero calorie. All right. So what we'll do is we'll get all of our chicken into our bowl, and then we'll go ahead and toss the coat. All right. Now you're going to want to toss this for a little bit because we want that oil, that 200 calories of oil, to get on almost every piece. So that way it's nice and evenly spread. So, just going to give this a good toss in here. There we go. All right. Just set my stuff off to the side. Now, we'll grab our pan. All right, this is the same pan that I had my chicken in as I was cutting it. So I've got it nice and oiled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to try and make a single layer out of most of this. All right, I'm going to pack it up against each other because I want the seasoning that I'm going to be putting on top, and sometimes you could toss it in with the oil. That's fine too. I don't prefer to do that. I like a nice layer on top. So we're going to go ahead and just layer in all 5 pounds of this chicken. Like I said, I probably lost a quarter pound with the trimming process. And we might need to do 2 pans. You can always do that, but I usually get about 5 pounds in a pan. All right, and I'm starting to run out of room, but like I said, just shove them over against each other. We're trying to make a complete flat layer all the way through this. Okay, we're going to push it back just a little more. I can still see most of my chicken here, but once we get that whole layer in there, there we go, then we can kind of push it back down. All right, make it as flat as possible. So now what we're going to go on with here is about, let me rinse my hands. Wash them up good. All right, we're going to want to go, and you can season this to your taste, but usually about a teaspoon or so of each one of the seasonings works really well. So we go with 1 teaspoon here. We'll get out some Lawry's seasoned salt. I just prefer the Lawry's brand. It's got a different flavor than your normal seasoned salt. Now you can always skip the seasoned salt and you can go with garlic salt, that too. But I like the flavor of the Lawry's. So I'll just take this here and we're just going to sprinkle this over top of all the chicken and try and get it over all of it. Get each piece with some on there. Okay? Then, if you didn't get to all of it, you can always just give it a sprinkle. Okay? It's up to you. Like I said, you season it to you guys, however you want it. Garlic powder. Now, it is about 1 tablespoon or teaspoon as well, but I like to shake this one on just because I can get a nice, good layer all the way across. Now, Italian seasoning. I'm not sure exactly what all this has in it. Here we go. Whatever that is, thyme, rosemary, savory sage, oregano, and basil. Any one of those will be a good topper. Parsley, anything like that. I just prefer the Italian seasoning. So once again, I like to shake it on. Once again, it's about 1 teaspoon, but I like to get it nice and even, and sometimes pouring it out of a teaspoon is a little bit difficult. All right. All right, so bring you over and I'll show you what the chicken looks like here. So see how it's nice and coated all over the whole top. All right, so what we'll do then, let me see if I'm still centered, and for the most part. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get out some foil, and we'll go ahead and cover the entire top. So this is ready to go in the oven. As soon as my oven preheats, hurry up, buddy, we'll go ahead and get that thrown in there. And I'm going to go ahead and start making my potato video, so that way I don't include them both in one, because if you just want to see the chicken, you just see the chicken. If you just want to see the potatoes, you just see the potatoes. So we'll be back as soon as we're ready to throw that in. Thanks. So let's go ahead and go in with both of them. 375 for 45 minutes. And I'll be back in 45 minutes. We'll test the chicken, we'll check out the potatoes, and we'll go ahead and get them served onto a plate. And I'm going to try some because I really enjoy this meal. We'll be back in a bit. All right. Looks like our timer went off. It's been 45 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and check our chicken, and we'll also check the potatoes. I know it's two separate videos, but I'm probably going to use this for both of the endings for those videos. So let's go ahead and get the chicken out, because that's going to be the defining time frame. So it looks like we are, it looks like we're right at the 170 mark. So I'm gonna take this out, and I'm gonna stab it through a couple other pieces of chicken here, just to kind of get an overall. Yeah, we're right at that 170 mark. So this chicken is done. All right. So I don't have to worry about any kind of illnesses or anything like that coming to my family based on me not cooking something enough. Let's go ahead and pull out the potatoes. And like I said, I'm kind of combining the end of both of these videos to, because I'm making them together, but I'm making two separate videos for it. So the potatoes, they don't need any particular temperature or anything else like that. I just want to make sure that they're going to be good enough to eat and done enough. And a lot of times what I'll also do is pull them out, and I'll bring you over so that way you can see what our chicken looks like there. And I know that you can see what looks like pink there. And a lot of people always say when the juice runs clear, but with the Lowry's Italian sea, or I'm sorry, not Italian sea salt, but with the seasoned salt, it does bring that color to your juice. So that's nothing to be concerned about there. But then the potatoes, if we come over here, nice and coated. Now what I usually like to do is I go ahead and throw this back in the oven uncovered for about 5 minutes on broil to kind of brown up the top of those. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, chicken, and I put the chicken back in there. Why not? And I put the potatoes in there. And we're starting to get a little bit of brown on there, so let's go ahead and throw them in for another 5 minutes. And this is on broil now. Let's do another 5 minutes. All right. Just got the dishes all cleaned up. So let's go ahead and pull those out of the oven, and we'll see. All right. Oh, our chicken's getting a nice brown on top there. And so are our potatoes. Now, if you can see the brown, I'm not sure, but they're nice and crispy brown on the top. Give it a little bit of different texture. Go ahead and turn off our oven. All right, let's go ahead and get this dished on a plate. And we'll let you take a look and see what my chicken and potato dinner looks like. All right. So what I like to do is kind of give the potatoes just a little bit of a mix in, just to get the crispies kind of mixed around down in there. All right. So we'll go ahead and get some potatoes on the plate. And then let's just use this here. Yeah. Let's get a fork. Let's go ahead and get a fork here, and let's just take this piece of chicken here. Came apart. All right. There we go. I'll go ahead and cut it up so you can see what the insides look like. All nice and white, no pink, of course, because we're up past that temperature. All right. And this, guys, is what the oven-baked chicken and potato looks like on the dinner plate. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you